All right, what it do? I am G, the seeker of truth. And this is spiritual state. And yes, your spirit is a state. First thing first, been watching the Super Bowl. My voice is shot. So, you know, it's gonna go in, it's gonna go out, you know what I'm saying? But the work gotta be did. And we finna get on into it. We finna pop off chapter 4. Just an overview of chapter 3. When woman was created, Eve was created, the serpent came in and beguiled her, and she ate the fruit and gave it unto Adam, and he ate, and they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. We're going into chapter 4. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his conscience fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy conscience fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And until thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Pause. Now, the whole purpose of this Bible breakdown was to fill in little gaps like this, or to discuss little gaps like this, because we on the 4th chapter of Genesis. We came out from God making male and female in his image, to them getting kicked out the garden, to Adam and Eve bearing Cain and Abel, to Cain knocking off Abel, to Abel getting banished and being labeled a fugitive and a vagabond by God, to now Cain talking to God saying, It shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Who is these other people? Right? This was a question I asked in church a long time ago. I was knee high to a grasshopper. I was probably about 10, 11, something like that. But I asked this question in church, like, who is these other people that, like, who? Because it didn't make sense then, and it still don't make sense now. Unless you study. Which means, one of two things, right? Which takes me back to a theory I had, that just like, because you got to understand, Satan, he wants to be exactly like God. So if, excuse me. So if God, the Most High, made people to be of service, then, and Satan wanted to be praised like God, and being the ruler of this earth here, this world that we on, this plane, then why would he not make a replica? Except the people that he made, they would have been soulless because he can't breathe the breath of life into her. I'm just saying, it's just thought I had because, like, what other, to all my Bible thumpers and everybody who wants to jump in here all the time telling me how wrong I am, what other people come from then? And don't tell me about nothing. I'm talking about at this book right here where we've been reading these first couple of chapters. Where did they talk about another people being at? I'm waiting. And let's move on. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. Now Cain got banished. He over here in Nod. Excuse me. He done got a wife. Not only is he a fugitive and a vagabond in fear of being out here with these people that they're going to kill him that we ain't never had. There's no recorded history of, and these what we reading. What we reading. There's nowhere else saying, well, these people were made and these people were made and then, well, we had to make these people because all these people right here was doing something totally different than what they was made for, right? There's no clear explanation of that. It just jumped from that to him being afraid of some people that we ain't never heard nothing about, to him getting married to a woman and having a child. That's why it's imperative to study. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begat Mahujalah, and Mahujalah, I don't know how to say that, begat Methuselah, I know how to say that, and Methuselah begat Lamech, and Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal, and he was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of all such as handled the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain, I'm going to think that's what her name is, Tubal Cain, was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wife, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God says, she has appointed me another, for God says she has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Why we gotta wait all the way to the end of chapter 4? I'm talking about, like, look at it's so much, and that's just like by the physical standpoint, like chapter 4. But you gotta understand how much time that probably passed. Like, Cain, Adam and Eve had Cain, then they had Abel. So I'm assuming these are teens or early 20s, or they might even be grown, you know what I'm saying? Because time now is different from time then. But in whatever sense, we talking about two adult. Right? Now, Adam and Eve, obviously, they wasn't praising God. Couldn't have been. Because they say, at the Enos, then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. There ain't no other form of worship been there throughout the first through what, three or four chapters. They sure, when they say God pulled up, they talked to Cain and Abel, and they came, and they came up with the offerings, and they was coming offering. But as far as them worshiping or calling upon, it was not stated. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to go and study. You have to study. You got to take words and break words down. Words that you think that you know the definition of, but it got a whole other definition, right? It got the one that you know too. It got the one that they taught you to know, and then it got the one that they know. You see what I'm saying? And the one that they use. And the language barrier is real. And I ain't talking about English and Spanish. I'm talking about, like, you know, good and evil. That language. But anyway, as always, I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. That was Genesis chapter 4, for those who speak proper. 4. Genesis chapter 4. Anywho, I'm G, the seeker of truth. This is Spiritual State. Until next time, y'all stay elevated. And remember, study yourself to show yourself approved. All right, man.